Hey, this is Jeffrey Pepper Rogers here with another episode of Guitar Sessions. And the focus today is Sunny Came Home, a great song by Shawn Colvin from her 1996 album A Few Small Repairs. Multi-Grammy winner and a big breakthrough for Shawn Colvin. And interestingly enough, came along at a time when she and her producer, John Leventhal, had more or less given up on the idea of making singles for radio. And of course, then it was all over the radio. So Sunny Came Home, John Leventhal wrote the music, and Shawn Colvin wrote the lyrics. They've written tons of songs together over the years. And she found the lyrical inspiration behind this song actually in the artwork picked for the album, which is a painting by Julie Speed called Setting the World on Fire. And I've interviewed Shawn Colvin a couple times for Acoustic Guitar Magazine, and I wanted to share you just a little bit of her story about where this song came from. So let's listen.
I didn't crack it easily. And the inspiration behind that story came from the painting that I chose to be on the cover of the record. And I just liked Julie Speed's work, and I really wanted something different rather than a photo. And sort of in the 11th hour, I took Sunny Came Home, which was really just barely there. In fact, I think I had it as Jimmy Came Home at one point before I had written the lyrics to whatever, the facts about Jimmy. And I looked at this cover and I said, I thought to myself, you need to write a story about this woman on the cover who's got a lit match and a big fire in the background. And that's how I did it.
So in this lesson, I'm going to share with you how Colvin plays this song solo, but with some extras as well. Some adaptations that I've made of guitar and mandolin riffs that were originally played by John Leventhal. So this is a little bit more of like a full band sound. As with all the episodes of Guitar Sessions, you can find the complete charts over on Patreon, the guitar tab, as well as a series of chord and lyric charts. So, but I will walk you through the song right here. So let's start by just talking about the chords. So first thing you'll see, I've got my capo at the 2nd fret here. And I'm going to be playing out of the key of A minor or A minor shapes here that are capoed up at the 2nd fret. So the chords, just some basic open chords in this position. A minor, G, F, which I'm playing as a bar chord here, E minor, just your conventional chords so far, C. Then here are a few that I'll just spell out what they are. A nice chord that's used a few times. This is a D7 over F sharp. So I've got that 2nd fret bass note on the 6th string. And then I'm just playing mostly the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. I got the 3rd string, 2nd fret, 2nd string, 1st fret. Can include that open 5th string if you want. So that's D7 over F sharp. And this is an F add 9. Just like the top of an F chord, you're used to playing it, but 3rd fret on the 1st string added on. And if you want a lower bass note with that shape, you could add in. If you're comfortable with thumb fretting, you could reach over and grab the bass note on the 1st fret of the 6th string if you want. Just a couple other shapes used here. In one place there's a G over B, so that's just simply like a regular G chord as you would play it, but the lowest note is that B note on the 5th string. In the bridge, we've got these couple of chords, E minor 7. So It's just like the E minor, except leaving the 4th string open. It's only fretting one note, 5th string, 2nd fret. That's E minor 7. And this is a kind of a sweet little fingering, which I'm calling here F6 sus2. So I'm fretting the 6th string and the 2nd string at the 1st fret, and then the strings in between I am leaving open. Then there's only one more shape used in here, just in the ending, which is an A minor over G. So if you just play a regular A minor, but you throw your pinky over there onto the 6th string, 3rd fret above the capo, that's an A minor over G. So one of the things that's really interesting about this song is the chord progression is constantly changing. The verses are not the same as each other. There's just John Leventhal is a very sophisticated and subtle arranger, and so he makes a lot of substitutions and variations throughout. And if you go and check out, if you download the complete chart, you can see all these. So it's not a song where you just have one pattern that just goes every time the same way. Small changes where they just add a lot of cool extra flavor to it. So first thing, let's look at the basic groove. So Shawn Colvin is a great rhythm player, really strong sense of groove. And that's certainly true on Sonny Came Home. You know, a lot of playing in this and like the way that she does it is thinking about your guitar as like you're playing the bass and the drums. So really accentuating the backbeat. So a lot of it, if I pull up this example here, this line of tab that just shows a little piece of the kind of rhythm that you use during the verse. You see there's a lot of this 2 bass notes, like on the A minor. That's boom, boom. It's a little bit like going, you know, boom, boom, stop, boom, boom, tap, boom, boom. If you think of like a drum, the bass drum going kick, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare. It's a little bit like that. So a lot of the rhythm of this song comes like that, with that boom, boom, tap, da boom, boom, tap. So really work on getting that feel. A couple things you'll notice in the notation there. You'll see these little dots beneath some of the notes. So those are meant to be played staccato, so kind of muting them quickly, like. So with some of those notes, the staccato notes, I'm just muting them with either my fretting hand or my picking hand, or both, just to shorten them up, so it's a little bit, instead of like boom, boom, ting, boom, boom, ting, it's like a boom, boom, tch, boom, boom, tch, boom, boom, like that. Just makes the rhythm kind of pop a little bit more. You'll see some of these 16th notes in here, just these little pieces of chords, which playing with a pick generally would be playing with an upstroke. So you're going, just kind of catching a couple notes on the way up, and then getting to that next downbeat for a downstroke. So that's a little piece of how the groove goes through the song. And then when you get to the ending of a verse, there's this little passage that goes from D minor, A minor to the F add 9, and there it's nice to kind of break out of this sound. And just I like to do like a nice sort of full strum and let it ring, like just with that last phrase. And then arpeggiate that last F add 9 chord. Again, just kind of a nice variation to have there. So another place where vary the picking pattern a little bit is on the chorus, where you go coming out of that kind of a groove. This is coming out of the verse. So there I'm just kind of making up a little pattern, but I'm going into like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and just kind of breaking up the rhythm a little bit to make the chorus part stand out a little bit more. Or play it just more of a straight strum, and then come back into the verse with a little bit more of that boom, boom, that kind of groove again. And then in the bridge section, another place to bring in some rhythmic variation. So rather to get out of the boom, boom, that sound, it just becomes like a steady that's the E minor 7 and the F6 sus2. So for all that, I'm doing some palm muting, resting my palm on the strings here, kind of right on top of the saddle. And just steady downstrokes with the pick. Not even really letting much ring out. It's just kind of like a building tension, change of rhythm there. So that's a kind of a groove that happens in the bridge section. And then finally, in the ending, I'll just show, she plays this nice little descending part, which goes from A minor to that A minor over G to the D7 over F sharp to that F6 sus2. Does that a few times, like. That's just during the outro section of the song. So A minor over G, D7 over F sharp, and F6 sus2. So you got a bass line that's going boom, 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 boom. That's real musical and nice. So now let's just take a look at some of the extra goodies that I'm sharing here. So the first thing is the introduction. So on the studio recording, it starts off with the mandolin. And this is something that Shawn Colvin doesn't play, but I like the little intro, so I figured out a way to do it on the guitar. So it comes out of this shape, which you can see in the notation there. I'm up my pinky 7 frets above the capo and my middle finger 5 frets above the capo. And so first I'm doing a little hammer on that 3rd string there. And then just continuing this little melody. Da, 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 da. That's just going back and forth between the 4th and the 3rd strings, as you can see in the tab. That's something that you just do 4 times. Again, just a way to, if you like that part of the original arrangement, a nice kind of way to do it on the guitar. Sounds a little different than the mandolin, but definitely works. And then the part that I really enjoy doing on this song is playing. So on their studio recording, they've got the rhythm instruments, and then there's a lead guitar playing a boom 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 doom boom doom in that opening in the intro, and then as an interlude in between the verses as well. So Shawn Colvin just plays the chords when she performs the song solo, but you can incorporate that melody on top of the chords in a pretty straightforward way, which I've got all tabbed out. But I'll just show you that I'm not going to talk through it every note of this. You can get the tab if you want to dig into it, but basically the melody is here. So all right on those 2 strings there. And so all I'm going to really do is take the chord shapes that I've already laid out for how to play that, and I'm just going to play that melody as the top notes of the chords. And I have to modify the chords slightly in places just to maybe add a note on top of them to get the full melody. But that's the basic sort of chord melody approach that I'm using in order to be able to play the harmony and that little melody at the same time. The other thing to note is you can do this with a flat pick only, but I actually use a little bit of hybrid picking where I'm playing lower notes with my pick, and in a few places I'm grabbing melody notes with my middle finger on the upper strings. And I really like having hybrid picking in the toolbox, especially because it allows you then to play, for instance, a note on the 5th or 6th string and play a note on the 2nd string simultaneously without having to play all the way across them with the pick. So you can create a nice sort of clarity in playing melodies that way. So, and because you're holding the pick the whole time, you can just grab certain notes with your with the hybrid picking, and then just go back to playing regular with the flat pick again. So here's what this intro though looks like. After the little mandolin part that I just played, what I have calling the riff here. So I'll take it a little slow and just play it through for you. 1, 2, 3, and... there is that intro, and I'll play it with the full song. And if you want to really pick that apart, you can, as I said, go pick up the tab, and you can kind of see how that all goes. But the basic idea is melody on top, pieces of the chord on the bottom. Play everything while staying in those basic chord shapes that I was using already. All right, so those are the main pieces of this arrangement, and now I'm just going to run the full song. I've got Wendy Ramsey coming in to sing this tune, and I'll play it, and check out what this sounds like when we put it all together. 1, 2, 3, and... right, so there is Sunny Came Home. Hope you enjoyed playing through that song. A great one to play solo or with a band. Once again, all the notation is up on Patreon. Go check that out if you want to dig in further. And thanks for watching. I'm Jeffrey Pepper Rogers, and I will see you next time.